Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Tom Fleming, Geoffrey Chiles here with you on the call on coachesaid.com. And low-scoring first half, Tom, but still an eventful one. Very physical play, and we're tied at 7 here to start the second.
Yeah, and both teams looking good, though I'd have to say that the Eagles are probably more pleased to be tied, as the Maryland was sort of the consensus favorite coming into this.
Maryland kicks away, using their hands to gain possession here across midfield. Maryland far side, going through 5 Eagles, going past another one, and the speed burners are on for the Terps.
Wow.
All the way for the score.
It's a gentleman without a number, but he can fly, huh?
And the fire trails behind. Maryland retakes the lead. They now lead 12-7, the championship game here on Sunday.
He's got a long, tricky kick from the corner. And this is sort of how the first half started. Maryland scored right away, then was stifled for the rest of it. We'll see what happens here.
We'll see if the offensive bursts continue or if the defenses resume their locking down that we saw at the end of the first half.
No good, just outside to the right, I'm told. But boy, it looked good. It was nice power to it, and the wind had actually died down for him for a moment.
Had the distance, but the Maryland kicker on the 2-point try unable to convert, and now it's just a try separating Maryland and BC with the championship on the line, these two traditional ACC rivals.
It's a good one, and BC love to answer right back.
The try is good, and the 2 points are not. That is our margin, 12-7. For Maryland, kicking off to BC. Eagles resetting the offense in their own end, bottled up, but they find a lane. Far side, far right side, and they give it off. BC again, one man to beat, and he has to turn back.
Got it all.
Maryland, BC players converging on a big tackle. BC scoops it up, side to side they go. Rushing to the end line. BC getting by the final Maryland Terrapin, and he will go all the way for the try. BC touches the ground with the ball, adds the 5 points, knotted up again at 12.
And what was key to that is you see Pritchard, where he was attempting to be tackled here about midfield, not only was he able to stay on his feet, he was able to change his angle so that when he ended up crossing the zone, he now has a reasonable chance at this kick, as opposed to going straight down and being driven along the sideline.
Pritchard elusive with the ball and smart as well where he touched down. And the kick is up and the 2 points are true.
That was clean. Big score 12-10. Is that correct?
It's 14-12.
14-12. All right, a 2-point lead for the Eagles. They'll take it.
And that missed 2-point try by the Terps could come back to haunt them.
Yeah, it does loom large.
BC just a 2-point edge, but the way this game has been played, Tom, that could be the difference. Very defensive-styled game, very defensive posture from both clubs.
Yeah, it has been, and it's not been for lack of trying. The offenses have all tried to get ahead of steam, but the defenses have just been so intense.
Lack of trying, Tom, with the rugby puns already this afternoon.
Ooh, that was some punishment over there on the other side.
And resuming action, Maryland looking for that crease, that opening. Outside of 1 or 2 plays, haven't been able to use their speed to their advantage this afternoon. And an Eagle and a Terrapin come together, and that's violent. Both players fall to the ground. Maryland about midfield. Gang tackle, 2 Eagles converge.
Yeah, they are tackling with some real intensity here.
And both defenses, a lot of pride, don't want to give up that long run in the championship game. Maryland far side. Again, 2 Eagles come in on him.
And bodies are flying around as the play is blown dead.
Tom, what do I think about what? Just about to say, Tom, before we were interrupted there, what do you see from the BC tacklers, what they've been able to do? How have they been able to really bottle up Maryland in this game?
Well, I have noticed they've been keeping a guy back, or one or two guys back along the lines, and they've been effective at running it as the man begins to make his corner. He sees a BC Eagle defender grab at his legs, gives it time for his teammates to catch up, force a stop, and then hope for the best one in the ensuing ruck.
Sure to be part of that scouting report from the BC coaching staff. They've watched these games just as we have. They know that Maryland likes to bust off the long run and specifically likes to get to the outside and make a diagonal route to the edge of the field.
Exactly. It makes sense with the skill and speed players they have. And BC's strategy so far has been a match for it.
The line out and the throw in. Maryland horizontally, side to side on the field. The Terps give it up. A few Terrapins in tow. BC closes off the lane. Maryland still going, such a strong physical team, and the referee stops play once more.
So you ran into the number 9 there of BC, Tom Edwards, a 6'5" player, the tallest guy in the Eagles squad. They call him Ginger Tom. He was born in Dubai, one of several Toms on the team, but the only one with red hair, thus Ginger Tom.
Tom, the number 1 Tom in my heart, to my left, Mr. Tom Fleming.
That means the world to me, Jeff.
BC, now let's see what they will do to counteract, and unfortunately for them, they fumble right back to Maryland. Maryland rushing, turning, and putting on the speed again, the Terrapins. The Terrapins will run, not crawl into the end zone, and Maryland adds another 5.
That was the same powerful runner. I wish we could identify this guy without the number. He is an exceptional open field runner and able to break the tackles. Really, really a key weapon for the Terrapins.
The Terps add 5 to their score, and they lead in a tightly contested championship game. It's Maryland 17, BC 14.
And it's been a tight one. I'd like to see BC come back and answer. I'm sure they would too, as the kick is going to be attempted again from a very awkward angle.
And just getting word, Tom, our mystery man with no number, that's Mr. Brandon Drummond.
Brandon Drummond, oh, very good. Good to know. Well, he's certainly been a key factor. He's no number Brandon Drummond. All right.
Well, he certainly made his presence felt this afternoon. 2 tries for Maryland.
And that last one, I'd like to say he went in untouched because he looked it, but really 2 or 3 guys bounced off him. That's why he looked untouched.
And the BC defense, very in position on the play. He turned that corner and cut straight upfield, and no one could stop him.
Yeah, you could just see him shift into another gear, and it was just watch him go.
And BC answering back, and they have to beat the speedy Drummond. Can BC do it? Drummond catches up.
Gets it to Pritchard, I believe. And
ball lying near the boundary. BC has it. Eagle had it momentarily, lost it. Maryland picks it up, and another play stoppage.
That was a nice long run to get that started. That was Joey D'Antonio, number 5, who's been a key player. He's going to spend next year with the Jesuit Volunteer Corps in Los Angeles after he graduates this May, the senior.
Well, slight delay here as a Maryland player holding his head looks to be a little shaken up, and now the referee signals play fine to resume. BC, the Eagles, trailing by just 3. Here they come, left side, right in front of us. The give back, searching, seeking a teammate. There he is, cutting to the left, turning to the right. Maryland Terrapins to converge, and he gives it up at the last moment. Bobbles maintains possession, and the referee stops play one more time. Ball over to Maryland.
Really, really tough defense by Maryland and really aggressive, scrappy offense by BC. They did not want to give that ball up. Tried everything that they could.
BC, a very impressive drive there, fighting for every inch, but Maryland up to the task, and Drummond boots it out of bounds, and looks like they'll give BC possession along the sideline.
I can't do it. Yeah, we got a little bit of paper blowing onto the playing field. We're going to clean that right up. The wind hasn't really let up. My app indicates up to 18-mile-per-hour gusts this afternoon.
And so Maryland kicking the ball out of bounds to perhaps give them a moment to collect themselves. Guy Lepresti on the throw-in. Lepresti over the BC wall.
Well done.
And the turnover. Let's see if the Eagles cash in. Boston College streaking to the end zone, and the touchdown and the try. And BC
Schatzman
adds 5 to their lead, and they are back in front. Back and forth game. What an exciting championship game.
Is it ever? 19-17, is that what you're saying?
19 to 17.
Just up by 2. That was Danny Schatzman, number 11, who punched that in, or was it Pritchard? Pritchard's going for the kick.
Pritchard, I believe, has every 2-point try for the Eagles.
And that one's in cleanly.
So Pritchard rather, converts on the 2. And it's BC 21, Maryland 17. We're in the final minutes of the second half of the championship game of the ARCL Sevens here in Greenville, North Carolina.
Yeah, that was a clutch play by Schatzman, a clutch run. Schatzman's a big baseball fan, primarily the Cardinals. He's been to the World Series games in both St. Louis and at Fenway.
So Schatzman to kick off, spirited final game of our tournament this weekend. Wherever you are, thank you for joining us on CoachesAid.com. Maryland played well all weekend. Do not want to give up this championship. Everything on the line, and 5-6 players aside there.
BC did a good job of clogging them up right there. Get them tangled, use some of that clock right now.
And the Maryland sideline, their arms up in the air, very upset that the ball will stay with BC. And now BC deep in the Maryland territory. Great opportunity to really push this one out of reach.
I would like to see. I'm sure that the Eagles would love to see it. And their coaches, Rob Conway, Jerry Llewellyn, and their manager, Ben Nathan, would be excited too to go back to Boston with a victory.
Here comes BC. They might have a crease. Still falling, stumbling to the ground just shy of the goal line.
Oh, don't get much closer than that.
And boy, right at the edge, Maryland escapes disaster. Maryland back up the field here in their own zone. And a Maryland Terrapin player falling down with an apparent injury.
Was that Lepresti, the gentleman who's been one of their prime players?
Lepresti doubled over, maybe had the wind knocked out of him, took a knee or two.
And I think that just did it. The time is round up.
Time has expired. And the BC Eagles win the ARCL Sevens Championship over Maryland 21-17. Our final, a great weekend of college rugby for you here on CoachesAid.com. And we'll have a final interview with a player from our winning team for Tom Fleming. I'm Jeff Chiles, and you're watching on CoachesAid.com. Back to Greenville, North Carolina. Geoffrey Chiles here with you on CoachesAid.com, and BC guts out a 21-17 victory over Maryland. We're here with our player of the game, Dylan Pritchard. And Dylan, you do double duty, both scoring and kicking for your team. And what were you guys able to do to shut down that explosive Maryland offense?
Yeah, they move pretty well. You know, they run hard. I think our defense and our tackling was spot on, the way we were covering the field. And then when we got the ball, we were just trying to spread the ball as wide as we can, and I think we did a really good job of it.
Thanks, Dylan. That's our player of the game, Dylan Pritchard, for his victorious Boston College Eagles, and we'll be right back on CoachesAid.com after this.
Thank you.
We're live here in Greenville, North Carolina with Mr. Schatzman and the rest of the victorious Boston College Eagles. And you can hear their celebration. And Maryland's such a tough team. They scored a lot of goals this weekend. You guys did a fantastic job of shutting them down. What was the secret this weekend?
Just sticking to our game plan. Coach always yells, Colgate, Colgate, Colgate. You know, we just took them out on the sideline and got the tackles and got the turnover ball. It's a big win.
Boston College a trophy to take back to Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, as they win in our championship game of the ACRL Sevens, and they advance to play in the USA Sevens of the national tournament. Congratulations.
Let's go, boys! Let's go!